Hey everyone, my name is the Theme Park Evangelist. Well, I'm finally getting into a topic I'm really excited about, and it's called Why Did I Start Vlogging in Pigeon Forge? So, for those of you who are new to my YouTube channel, every Monday at some point, whether it's morning, afternoon, or even nighttime, never evening it seems like, it's very rare by the way. I do a discussion vlog, or series, I should say, called The History of the Theme Park Evangelist. What exactly is the history of the Theme Park Evangelist? Great question. I have a great answer for you guys. It is a YouTube series that takes place from when I first became an actual YouTuber back in 2009, for those of you who do not know, and it takes you all the way up to the present, to literally late September of 2024, going into October of 2024. So that is more or less what the YouTube series is all about, if you were curious. But anyway, first of all, I was supposed to vlog at Kings Island over the weekend. If you guys were somewhere in the dark for whatever reason, whether you had no power or whether you were for whatever reason oblivious to what happened this weekend, whether you just didn't know what was going on outside your window, or whether you were on the other side of the country, maybe let alone the other side of the world, there was a hurricane here in the Midwest that affected not just Kentucky, Ohio, part of Indiana, but big time Tennessee and western North Carolina. This hurricane was called Hurricane Helene, or if I'm pronouncing that correctly, or it's not Helen, but Helene. And unfortunately, due to the insane amount of rain and wind that this whole entire area received over the weekend, there was no way on God's green earth that I was going to go out on YouTube this weekend. It's just not that much fun. I had every intention on starting my fall vlogs this weekend, but the hurricane had other plans. And TJ probably thought it was a big joke, but that's TJ for you. Because TJ's ultimate plan is to see how much he can make me suffer, or to see me suffer. But that's because TJ has always been very competitive with me, so I'm not really surprised by that. But somehow I still end up getting up to 467 subscribers over the weekend, and I'm very, very, very thankful for that. So, unfortunately, my Halloween haunt vlog got postponed to this coming Saturday now, which I am working Saturday. However, though, I'm only working 8 to 4 in the laundry room, and then I'm off again until Monday as of right now, unless for whatever reason I go in Tuesday, but we'll see what happens. And then my Kings Island Tricks and Treats vlog, or Fall Fest vlog, has been postponed until further notice. Now, I will tell you guys for sure, I am vlogging one on the final weekend, which is Sunday, November 3rd. I am going up to Kings Island area for a bridal show on that weekend. And the bridal show is in the morning. And then I just have to make sure that I tell my church I cannot serve that morning, so that way I don't have to drive all the way back down. So that is something else I need to take care of, is just make sure that they know, hey, I cannot serve. And then I gotta take care of not being able to serve while I'm out of town as well. So that's something else I need to start thinking about here before I need to leave for work. That way I'm not standing there starting to think about, like, oh, I hate that. That is like the worst feeling ever, when you thought about it, you knew you should have done it, and you didn't do it. And you're just like, really? So, yeah. Fun times. But in the meantime, I'm happy to say that at least fall vlogs start this weekend. So I got Halloween Haunt on Saturday night. And then the Kentucky Wool Festival starts this Friday, and then I'm going on the final day, which is on Sunday. So look forward to that. I actually have at least 4 weeks of fall vlogs coming at you guys over the next 4 weeks, but I'm not going to go over that because it'll take way too long, and I would actually have to have my list, and I want it to be a surprise for you guys. So every weekend, check my Facebook page, and I'll have to start scheduling that for my YouTube community page as well. But Facebook.com/The Theme Park Evangelist. The link is in my description, which is not going to be below, but in my About section, and you can check that there. And then every Saturday or Sunday, whichever, depends on which day I have planned to check both. Primarily Sundays at 8 a.m. on the dot. I use Meta Business Suite for all of my publishing needs, and my posts will be published at 8 a.m. on the dot. Just so you guys know. I'm really trying hard to get more people over to that Facebook page. I got 118 followers. I need more. Please don't be afraid to tell people about it. It's completely free, like this YouTube channel. I just want the free publicity out there. I just want more people to come over to that Facebook page so they'll be in the know instead of being out of the know. If that makes any sense. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to all the fall vlogs. Also, I have a really big announcement on Saturday morning on my Facebook page. You don't want to miss it. I will announce it on here next Monday, and I will tell everybody what that big announcement was. But in the meantime, I'm really trying hard to get more people over that Facebook page. So if you want to read that Facebook page announcement when I first make it, which by the way, I actually published it yesterday or the day, but yeah, it was yesterday. I published it yesterday on my Facebook page, but I scheduled it really, and it's going to publish live on Saturday at 8 in the morning. So make sure you check out the Theme Park Evangelist on Facebook, or the Theme Park, or Facebook.com/The Theme Park Evangelist to make more. Make sure that I'm saying that correctly. On Saturday at 8 a.m. or whenever you get around to it, just to make sure that you get the latest news on what I have big planned coming up. Also, here soon, I'm going to be purchasing tickets here for Katie and I for the New Year's Eve celebration at Kings Island, so I'm looking forward to that, so I can tell everybody how much the tickets were, and make sure that's official and give everybody all the details on that. Tomorrow, since I did not vlog at Tricks and Treats yesterday like I intended to, I'm going to make up for it by doing my college days vlog tomorrow instead of today, because Mondays are always History of the Theme Park Evangelist. It's not because it's an OCD thing. It has nothing to do with my disabilities whatsoever. That's just so I don't throw you guys off, because I don't want people to click on my vlog on Monday and find something else. I try to stick to an orderly schedule for everybody's benefit. And then finally, on Wednesday, guess what? I got one more surprise vlog for you guys I never intended on having. So Wednesday was supposed to be my college days, and I've decided to do it tomorrow versus Wednesday. So that means that Wednesday you guys get one more surprise vlog out of me for the week. So just keep in mind, there are going to be times when circumstances happen and I might have to rearrange things. The reason why I'm able to do a vlog tomorrow is because I'm off tomorrow, but there are going to be times when I'm even working later in the day on a Tuesday and I can just say, hey, you know what? Things didn't work out this weekend like I intended to, so we're going to throw in another vlog in there for you guys. Or we're going to just reschedule a vlog so that way we can do something additional for you guys this week. All right, it is officially at the 10-minute mark. Like I always promise, every single week, 10 minutes worth of upcoming announcements and all that, so that way we can get right into the vlog. I always stay true to it. So, about 2 years ago, 2.5, we'll go with that, I got invited by Katie to Pigeon Forge. And she was like, oh, we're going out to Pigeon Forge. And originally I was not invited. And I was like, well, that'd be kind of cool. And she's like, well, let me talk to my roommates. And they said, yeah, we could use a driver. So then Katie comes up to me and she goes, yeah, you can come. So for those of you who do not know who Katie is, for whatever reason you're new to my YouTube channel, which I'm getting new ones every single week, which, by the way, thank you, personally, from the Theme Park Evangelist, because I do need more subscribers, trust me. And, these ladies barely even know who I am, and there's something about me. They're like, yeah, I guess he can come. So I cut the time off from work. It was a very last minute decision. It was not an easy thing, but I still made it work. And I don't know how I managed it, but I talked to my dad. I was like, hey, I got invited to Pigeon Forge. Kind of need some extra money. Is there any way I can just give you some or pay you back later for the rent? And my dad's like, yeah, that's fine. This was like 2 years ago, so things were different back then. And we left early-ish, if I remember correctly. Think they came to get me. So we went in Katie's car at the time, back when her car was a little younger, and we got as far as Buc-ee's. We stopped, filled up, got some stuff, took a group picture together. We had gotten this really crappy motel, I hate to say it, in Pigeon Forge. Now keep in mind, I had never been to Pigeon Forge in my life. So I didn't know what to expect. I was very shocked when I first showed up. And I was like... So I was like, okay, well, this is not at all what I was expecting. Motels everywhere, restaurants galore. There was even a Publix. I was like, whoa, there's a Publix. I used to work for Publix, so it's kind of a part of me. And also there were mountains. I mean, it was gorgeous. So when we first got there, we actually had wanted to go see the aquarium first, the one in the Smokies. And we ended up taking this side path, but we did manage to get down there, and we parked the car in this very expensive parking lot, but we paid for it. We started walking down a path that was recently flooded this weekend by Hurricane Helene, and I started vlogging. I was like, wow, this is so cool, just, being out there. The walking path that we took was actually between the aquarium and Anakista, which is a thing that you can take up to see the mountains. And it's actually not, and this place is not too far from a hotel that Katie and I are going to be staying at next April and August. So I'm, very excited about that. It's Katie, hang on. Sorry about that. That was just Katie letting me know that she was supposed to have an appointment today, and she had it set up for tomorrow instead. She fell last Sunday at church and did some damage to her left hand, so that's pretty crazy. Anyway, I was at this aquarium, and it cost me almost $100 for me, Katie, and a former roommate of hers to done with these political ads, to go to the aquarium. But you know what? It was completely worth it at the time, just because it was my very first time there, and It's not like there was the AIG benefits back then, and that was back when I was working for AIG. Answers in Genesis, in other words. So anyway, we got done with the aquarium, and we decided, well, let's go ahead and go check out this motel. So we got to this motel, and the front desk receptionist seemed nice enough, and we were also talking to another lady that was set up right there, and she seemed nice enough. They gave Katie and her two roommates a room on the very first floor. I was on the second floor. My room wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. So Katie comes up to her room. Door was open. Room was a complete disaster. I'm not going to say what the motel was because most people are going to be like, yeah, I'm not surprised by that. And we were very disappointed with her first room, so we had her move to another room. Wasn't much better, but wasn't much worse either. So it was like it was a better enough improvement that we're like, okay, fine. So Katie was like, oh, let's get moved next to David, and the other roommates were like, and I was like, okay. Like, I don't really know how I feel about this. Like, keep in mind, I had only known Katie almost 2 months at this point. Like, I was excited, but, like, I wasn't quite ready for that yet. Like, her being next to me, if that makes any sense. But I was like, okay, I'll allow it. I don't really know what else to say otherwise. Sorry. And, we saw that there was a really neat restaurant next door called Sawyer's Farmhouse Restaurant. We were like, wow, that looks really good. So we decided that one morning while we were staying out there, we're going to go check it out. Um, Now, I don't remember the whole itinerary the very first time I went out to Pigeon Forge, but I do remember this. Um, we had gone to Titanic Museum one morning while we were out there, and we almost didn't get in. But thankfully, one of the employees pulled some strings and got us in. And it was the very first time I had ever seen the Titanic Museum. And back then, they were allowing us to take pictures with our own personal phones on the staircase, and that was the once and only time I have ever gotten any personal photos on that side of the staircase. So, on the side of the staircase where you're first coming in, they no longer do that. At the time, they were still allowing it. Now, you have to do it all on the exit side. There really isn't much of a difference other than one side you're exiting and one side you're entering, if that makes any sense to you guys. So, at the time, we were like, wow, this is so cool. Like, the first part of it was history. That part really impressed my brother. From that point forward, I was just like blown away. I could not believe like how authentic everything was. Like I was really impressed by the museum. I would say my favorite parts obviously were the grand staircase and the first course, but I was also super impressed by the part where you actually got to touch the Titanic water. So, of course, Katie's roommate at the time and I thought it would be a big joke to keep our hands in the water for as long as possible. And we were trying to do the other. And I kept making this joke like, oh, I could have done it longer if I really wanted to. And Katie was like, I'm not going to allow you to do anything longer than a minute because I don't want you to suffer from hypothermia. I mean, Katie had every right to say that because she didn't want me to hurt myself or anything. And, we were getting done with that. And when we got done with the Titanic Museum, we went out for lunch at this place called the Mellow Mushroom. Because, okay, I get tired of these emails, but whatever. all because I lived in Florence there for a hot minute. Um, so that was the day we had gone to the Mellow Mushroom, had some lunch, and then we went to the island that night as well. I didn't realize at the time that the whatever you call it, I wrote it last November for the very first time. Finally, at not the island, but Beyond the Lens offered it for free for AIG employees as well. Had the same exact thing, and as long as you were an AIG employee, you got to do it for free. So it was like the official name of the thing that we did, not the rye, but the thing we did was called Soaring Over America. It was really neat. It was more similar to Legoland's um, Lego Movie World ride, Masters of Flight, than Soarin', because Soarin' actually takes you up into the air versus Flight and this other ride that is at not just the island but at the island as well, or Beyond the Lens and the island, excuse me. Both are like the Masters of Flight or Flight ride at Legoland, where you're facing one way and then it turns you around and then takes you out into the actual ride path. And then it just kind of moves you around. It's still a neat concept, don't get me wrong, but it's one of those things that you have to see it for yourself to fully understand it. I went to I'm trying to remember what the name of. Oh yeah, I went to that Sawyer's. I'm very sure that same morning, and I'll be honest with you guys, I liked it so much. I've already been there 3 times. 3 times I've been there. It's that good. So, hear me out. If you're in Pigeon Forge, go to Sawyer's Farmhouse Restaurant. Also, we went to a place called Three Bears General Store, owned by the same exact company as Sawyer's, and I've already been there about 5 different times by now, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're ever in Pigeon Forge, go check them out as well, because they're also very interesting. I've also featured them on YouTube if you ever want to see them under my Tennessee vlogs. Um, we made the mistake of going to a place called Flapjacks. They're all over the Pigeon Forge and Gattlinburg area. Honestly, our waiter was not very good. I ended up helping him with his math, and that was very disappointing. So that was the day I went to Dollywood for my very first time. Dollywood is not at all what I expected it to be. Dollywood is still a really cool place. Don't get me wrong. I really like Dollywood. I've already been back twice, so I went for the very first time the July summer of 2022. I'm gonna not saying the July, the summer of 2022 or July of 2022, and then I went back again last November for the second time for my very first Christmas there, and that was also a really neat experience as well. Um, let's see here. What else did I do in Tennessee for the very first time? Um, that week I did a lot. I remember I did Wonderworks for the very first time. I was supposed to do my very first high ropes course that summer, but I ended up doing it not even a couple of months ago for the very first time. And I ended up doing a lot better than I thought I would do. So, I mean, I'm still happy I got to do it. Don't get me wrong. In some ways, I wish I had done it during the summer of 2022, but in some ways, I'm glad I waited until the summer of 2024 as well. That's right, I did do it during the summer. Now I remember I did it on a Monday night, and then I ended up getting sick the next day. Now I remember. Probably because of all the germs I was around, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe I was already sick to begin with and I didn't know it. So, yeah, I mean, Tennessee was very interesting in a lot of ways. That was my very first trip there. I've been there three different times, so I'm just going to quickly go over the other two times. So I went back again to Tennessee to Cosby, this time about an hour away that Christmas. So I went back not even 5 months later. Stayed in the cabin with my parents and Katie and Jonathan, my brother. Katie and I went to do a couple of things that Christmas in the Tennessee area. We also went back to another place I've featured on my YouTube channel back in the summer of 2022, now that I think about it, called Goats on the Roof. So we end up at one location that summer that we thought was the original location, but ended up being off of another road. So we went to the main location, and this one actually has an actual alpine coaster, which I thought was like so cool. And then I went back again with Katie not even 6 months later to go check it out again. Plus, we went to a couple of clothing stores as well. I've featured Goats on the Roof on my YouTube channel mainly because of the Alpine Coaster, not necessarily because of what the store looks like inside. I mean, I do it just to give my YouTube channel a little bit of taste. Trust me, Goats on the Roof is a very conservative store, and they're always listening to the same channel or radio station over and over and over again every time I go in there. It's like, do you guys have anything else interesting to listen to? I mean, come on, man, really? Like, whatever. But I do appreciate the fact that they do like their free coffee. I will give them that one. And then, of course, I went back the following November to the Pigeon Forge area. So when I went in December, I stayed in the cabin. The following November, Katie and I stayed in a Best Western off of Parkway Boulevard. We went to Waffle House. We, of course, ate at whatever you call it again. I know I said it earlier. Sawyer's, that's right. We ate at Sawyer's. And we had to go back to Three Bears, of course. I'm very sure that last December, we fed the bears for the very first time. So last November, we did not. I don't even think they were doing it at the time, now that I think about it. And Katie and I also got to go back to the aquarium for the second time ever. This time we got in for free because I was working for EIG at the time, and that was also my second time going to Dollywood, which was also free. For you guys to know, I discovered this back in the summer of 2022. You can park your car over by the old mill, and for free, by the way. And you can take their mass transit, aka the trolley, around Pigeon Forge for $3. For an entire day. If you take it around Gattlinburg, apparently it's free. I don't know how that works, but okay. And park for free as well. So, I mean, there's quite a bit to do in Pigeon Forge and Gattlinburg. I've only touched a small taste, and as far as like what it was like to YouTube there, I couldn't YouTube at the Titanic Museum due to copyright. Now I can YouTube in the gift shop, but I cannot YouTube in the actual museum, which stinks. YouTubing at Dollywood was really interesting for my YouTube channel because it was a brand new theme park for me. So I got to YouTube two different times. The first time was to show Dollywood for the very first time ever on my YouTube channel. And then the second time was to show Dollywood at Christmas for the very first time. And then it was just really neat showing a couple of different motels on my YouTube channel. I got to show the cabin for the very first time, and I'm planning on staying out there again next Christmas in a different cabin, which I think is also going to be really neat, and I'll get to show that on YouTube. I also really enjoyed showing Three Bears, and there's always something neat to show everybody on YouTube out in Pigeon Forge, and it just gives my YouTube channel some variety. And it's still staying true to the theme park content, but it also gives my YouTube channel a different kind of travel content. And I also love the fact that I have Buc-ee's to visit while I'm out there as well. And that was something else I really enjoyed about YouTubing out there last November as well, that I did not have the time before that. And that's another reason why I love going down south, is because it gives me an excuse to go down to Buc-ee's, not just in Richmond, but also in Sevierville as well. There's always something I can show on my YouTube channel wherever I go, and that's what I love about vlogging in Pigeon Forge specifically, let alone Gattlinburg. And I'm always trying to show something new on my YouTube channel. Like next year, I'm going to be showing a brand new hotel for the very first time before the cabin even gets involved. I mean, I'm always trying to come up with some creative way to make my YouTube channel more exciting for you guys every single year. What can I do better? What can I do to encourage more subscribers and all that? So, anyway, my next topic on this particular topic on this YouTube series, if that makes more sense. I believe I'm going to be talking to you guys about. You know what? Let me pause that for a minute. I had to think about that for a second. I just didn't want to do that on camera. That's right. I'm going to talk to you guys. I get tongue tied easily about what it was like to vlog on my very first staycation in Kentucky. So that summer, Katie's parents had come up for a visit. Now, my staycation wasn't overly exciting because I had just gotten to know Katie's parents earlier. So, we're talking not even a year prior. So you guys are just now finding out like what it was like for them to come up for a visit. I still stayed with my parents, and I still end up working. I still did some stuff with them, but I didn't do like a lot with them. It wasn't until the following year is when I really started getting more involved with them, and you're gonna find out more about that over time. So, just stay, up to date with this YouTube series. It's gonna get more interesting, but the next time I see you guys, we're gonna be discussing my very first staycation with Katie and her parents. Until then, always remember, you can do all things through Christ strengthens you. Have a great day. Peace out.